Welcome, everybody, to another Late Night with Deep Sheep, starring us three. Myself, my name is Chris.
I'm Spencer.
And I am Roberto.
Roberto y Robby.
I mean, look, it's a very, very, very...
What if every podcast, no matter how you introduce yourself, you just have to address that person like that?
Like
for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, so then I just have to call you Roberto y Robby the whole time, every single time. I can do that.
What if,
you don't think I will, but I'll do it.
I just imagine it like Robby's graduation.
Please don't.
I imagine like at Robby's graduation or some shit. Like they're off. They're like Andrew Smith, and then people are like Chris Allen.
That's close to me.
Oh, that is Chris Allen's also a name of a guy who like was a singer on American Idol, right?
No, it's
and it's also you. But then they go Roberto Rio Robby. I
thought you were gonna say my real name, and I was like, that's usual around here. Actually, there's a lot of Samoans in this area.
Now look, audience, I am fully aware of the fact that I have not shaved for a bit.
Come on.
Are people commenting about it?
But look,
they might be right now.
I mean, look, it's been a while, and I've been lazy. All right.
All I know is that Robbie's looking like Jon. Or sorry, Roberto y Robby is looking like Jon Snow right now. you could have got his long hair going. That's Jon Snow length. That's definitely. Go off.
Fact. Yo, can I blur this motherfucker? Yeah, I can.
All right, so we're doing the blur. Okay, I'll join the gang.
If you can. I mean, if you're not, then
hell yeah, I can.
Oh shit! your fingers were like cut out a little bit in the blur. You see?
It's like oh, it's censored. Which finger am I holding up?
It's like, how many fingers am I holding up?
I look like John in the Battle of the Bastards.
There you go.
You kind of do actually. Anyway, y'all, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's just us three, and we're here to
Why are you both blurring your backgrounds now?
Because you are.
Because you are, and so second of all, first of all, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on late night. It's actually, like, how many late nights have we gone now without me being in it? Like,
well, the thing is, a lot of these are going to be released out of order, but in general, for the audience, it will have been a fair amount of podcasts since you've shown up on. So yeah.
So any
What's up? You don't like us anymore?
No. I look. Yeah, it's absolutely right. Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. I just think that the topics that we talk about are really fucking stupid. I'm just kidding. If there's any topic
like this topic, it's so dumb. We've known each other for 10 years. Who cares?
If there's any topic that you wanted to know my input on in any way from the previous late nights, sound off right now.
All right. Any big disagreements about Green Day?
Well, I guess it's not really a big disagreement. I know that you guys like Revolution Radio a little bit more than I do. My thoughts on that are that if I were in the video, what I would have said was I have fond memories of that time period because it was the first Green Day album where I was like actively looking for the singles to come out, and also it was the first tour I went to.
Yeah, you took me on it. That's the only concert I've ever been to in my life.
And So no matter what, like it wasn't even really about the music for me in that time period. I was just happy that they were back. So I have fond memories of that time period anyway. The album itself is kind of like a 7 out of 10 for me, but like it's also not. It's a return to form that I think kind of borrows, or maybe not. It's a bit derivative, I think, of American Idiot and the 21st Century Breakdown sound wise. But in a way, I kind of think that was needed in retrospect, because now after Father of All and that kind of departure from it, I think that after the trilogy, that was kind of what they needed in a way.
Yeah. Just a return to form. By the way, Roberto y Robby, I appreciate that when you drink from the water bottle, your camera blurs the logo so we don't get sued.
Oh,
does it really?
Do it, yeah. See.
It really
Roberto y Robby's drinking blurred water.
Don't keep saying
Check
that.
it out, dude. What am I drinking? You don't know.
Wait, hang on. Be right back, y'all. I need to join the club.
Okay.
And I'll do the sip thingy, Chris, the thing that makes you laugh.
Yeah, I love.
So what I'm
saying
gathering,
like I'm a little kid. I need him to do the little thing that I love.
So what I'm gathering is I'm the trendsetter here,
and
this none of you.
Robby.
I hopped on the call and my background's already blurred.
Yeah.
And then you hit record, and then now you both have your blurred backgrounds. I take a sip from a water bottle, then you, and now this fuck is gonna do it too.
To be fair, I've been sipping from this water since the podcast began, Roberto Robby. So I think you're wrong about that.
All right, y'all.
Good
All right,
God.
y'all.
Why did I say that?
All right, Spencer. What brand water are you drinking?
You
gotta show us, man. Oh.
What was the sip thing?
That's what it's called.
The fuck was that?
For 10 years. All three of us here. January 2011 was when we all sort of met. So obviously this is dating the video because it's January currently. It won't be uploaded in January. But either way, topic is still the same. But yeah, we've now known each other for 10 fucking years. How does it feel, boys?
It feels
wild.
Fucking good. You've really seen me grow. I've seen you grow. I've seen Robby grow. We've all seen each other grow so much in
because y'all are 21.
Not yet.
Not yet. But probably when this is out, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So I have known you both for half of your lifetimes then.
At this point, yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
From 5th grade to college.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
What's college?
and put it here, yeah. Well,
fuck that shit.
I've been out of that for a couple years now.
What's crazy is that, like, you know,
all you losers in school right now.
they say that like whoever you meet in college ends up being like the people that you spend like pretty much the rest of your life with, or at least like colleague wise. And like who you end up working with is like kind of who you hang out with and shit. But like what's crazy is that you guys have like known me before my balls dropped, and it's like fucking wild that like how many times can people say that they knew somebody before their balls dropped and they're still talking to them daily, you know?
Exactly. And in our case, I would say that the people you meet on Xbox Live are the people that end up being in your life the most. And that's the unique thing about Deep Sheep in general, like our story, that I think
Spencer, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
What?
What the fuck?
Roberto Robby had to take the mic off. He had to be like, all right.
Well, look.
You could have said, you've known me since before puberty, since before I grew up. Like, you knew me as a child.
My way of thinking is our brand, the Deep Sheep brand, has been built on immaturity, and we got to keep it alive. Like, that's my philosophy.
This fucking guy, my God.
Maturity. I think it's really nice that we've all grown up together and we've known each other for so long, and it all began on Xbox Live, which I find it very interesting. I've been really thinking about this topic this past year with the pandemic. Like, Zoom has really blown up lately, and a lot of people in our world are, for the first real time in their lives, experiencing like regular day-to-day communication with the closest people to them online via FaceCam and stuff like that. It's like a new idea to them. Like, oh God, I have to do like a FaceTime thing. This is so weird. And it's like, that's been a regular thing of our lives this whole time. And what's really cool about that is when we all were hanging out on Xbox Live 10 years ago, I'm sure all of our parents at some point or another were acting like, oh, you can't trust people on there. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're Skyping with someone from Xbox Live? No, that's no.
100%.
They're not your real friends. And it's like nowadays, no one would bat an eye about that. I think that's really wild.
It's interesting you bring that up too, because like, you know, you forget like this last term I was all online and shit, like everyone else. And, you know, some of these classmates, like I've never seen them before. You know, I'd never seen them before at my school, and it's going to be weird when shit reopens, and then I'm, like, seeing them for the first time and be like, oh, my God, like, I saw you on my computer screen for several weeks. Like, you know.
Dude, imagine that culture shock when we met for the first time.
Exactly. Like that, because, you know, there's some of those videos are being uploaded right now. A while ago, the day Spencer and Camden met was uploaded, and it's like, it's really funny how like at least for me, like each time I met you guys, it was like this big moment to me where I was like, oh fuck, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And it's really, it's like, it's so hard to describe that feeling. How many people know that, of like knowing someone for years and years and then finally meeting in real life for the first time? It's like there's always that awkward thing about it. It's almost like a first date where it's like, oh shit, yeah, you're you, like that's how you look like in real life, 3D. Okay, all right, you know. And then of course it's the height. You notice the height right away. Like when, because when I first met Spencer, I was like, hey, little guy.
Hello, buddy.
Like I constantly forget is like, so I met you in 2013, and then I saw you again at the end of 2015, and it was like I was a different person by then.
Oh, you know, yeah, big time.
Like I grew like a fucking 1.5 feet.
Well, I mean, imagine it like the way that I like to look at it, you know, is that everybody changes so much that within that short span of time, like you're only 13 years old.
Yeah.
Within 2 years, you've already become a completely different person. Like imagine it between ages 3 to 5. Like a 3-year-old can do a couple of things, but a 5-year-old, dude, you should be like fucking making your own food, dog.
I mean, most guys, especially age 13, they've maybe just started puberty. Their voice is probably still high. By the time they're 15, generally, all that's already happened. It's already all changed. So those 2 years, I would say, are maybe the biggest change, at least physically, for a guy. But
yeah, because then from comparatively from 13 to 14, not much change. But from 15 to 16, like 16, you should be like done pretty much.
Yeah. Unless you're Keaton, then that's when you began.
No, really?
Yeah, he was a late bloomer. He didn't start puberty till like 16. I don't know why I'm talking about him on this, but you know, it's just funny.
I want to see Keaton in puberty.
It was funny. He was like tiny too. He was like really short.
Oh my God.
So that's really wacky that he was like the short kid, and you know, he's my height, and it's like.
I was about to ask, have I actually met Keaton? Yeah, I've met Keaton. He was supposed to be fucking Bean Boozled.
Yeah.
The thing the thing I think about too is that, like, Chris, I don't know if you remember this, but I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago. We went on like the Bungie website, or like the Halo Reach, like you know, like there was that way to look at
Halo Waypoint.
Halo Waypoint, that's what it was. And I have no idea how the fuck Bungie does this, because do you remember there was that feature on the website where you could see every game you played?
Yeah.
And everything that was, everybody who was in the lobby, how many kills they got. And I'm like, where, like, first of all, how the fuck do they keep this shit logged? And I found the game that you and I met in. Remember,
what game was it?
We were on Sword Base, and it was like January 11th, 2011, I think. Or it was something like that. It was some point in January.
Wow, we're 2 days off.
2 days off from that.
It was somewhere in January of 2011, and I vividly remember the first thing I said to you. It was
Of course you do. I don't remember shit.
Bro, that's gonna be a vast majority of this, because I don't even know how I met you, Spencer, but I know that I met Chris because of you. So we'll get to that, but finish what you're doing.
I joined your party, and I remember you always had it on invite only, but for whatever reason, it wasn't on invite only for this time. And I remember your old profile picture where it was like there was flames in the background, and then your head was kind of tilted up like this with your left head hat. And I went in there, and I literally I didn't know what to say, so I just said, CA Cox 97. and you were like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, dude, like I'm a huge fan. I love your videos. Can I please can you please add me? And you're like, oh, unfortunately my friends list is full, because I guess this was like right after your Xbox got full. And I was like, that's pretty fucked. So then we played Halo, and then we really, really hit it off. And I'm like, we ended up playing Infection. This is back before like Alpha Zombies was really like in the playlist. So we would play that, and then we were playing on Sword Base for one of them, and then Pinnacle. That was the fucking map that we always played Infection on, because they had it in the playlist at the time. And now, unfortunately, if you go on Halo, that map is nowhere to be seen in the Infection playlist. So, that's like all I can really remember. But I remember we talked about Critical. We played a bit of Tip of the Spear on Legendary together, and then I added you at the end of the night, and then I was like, fuck.
Wow. That's how you earn that friend request.
Yeah, you play Halo Reach.
Bro, I've gotten a total of 5,100 kills even on campaign for Halo Reach.
Damn.
That's pretty sick.
Are you able to find the first game that we were all three in together?
Oh, I couldn't find any game stats or nothing. Nothing's on there.
Oh,
on the website.
Maybe that website isn't up anymore.
Yeah, I think. When did you last go?
I swear it wasn't that long ago. It must have been like 2017 or 2018.
Okay, hang on. I thought for some reason, because I
thought that was
you,
like recent.
Yeah, I thought, because I told you yesterday, yo, we've known each other for like 10 years now. Or was it yesterday or today? I don't know. Either way. And so there was a little bit of time till we did this podcast. I thought you went online and looked all that up just for fun.
No.
So
I totally thought this was all like
I think
today
it was like January 11th, and I'm like, oh, I feel like you would have remembered that since you just looked it up. Okay, but instead you're saying you looked that up 3 years ago.
No. I mean, like that's the thing that's crazy though, is that like, why the fuck is that still available even in 2017? You know, like that's the game.
Bungie got a room full of servers just overheating all day.
Crazy shit, and like. I just can't even believe it's been that long. And I think, Robby, the way I met you was...
I Left 4 Dead 2. I know that much.
Yeah, I met you on Left 4 Dead 2, and I don't remember how you joined or how I
want to say it was from Death from Above.
Oh,
I think I met him on Halo, and then he added me to the party, and that's how I met you.
Yeah.
And then later on, we wanted to play Versus. This is all coming back to me now. Later on, we wanted to play Versus, and then you two both said, hey, let's add Chris. And I was like, all right, me and another person. And then CA Cox 97 hopped in the party, and I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, all right, bet. And we play some Versus, and I sucked ass.
That's the thing that like people forget, and it's like, Chris, I think I discovered your channel when you had like 4,000 subscribers.
I believe you. Everyone always says, I've been there since the beginning, but it's like, no, I believe you in that case.
Yeah,
I don't remember the number, but you had just released the, it was a little bit after the Terminator Choose Your Own Adventure sort of thing.
What? That was before Nerf videos.
I remember that was the first video series that I saw of yours. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Shoot Your Guard one?
No. Terminator interactive game.
Terminator interactive game. That's the one. Yeah.
Because that was before Candy Bar or any of those. That predates all of that. So maybe that was the first thing you watched.
Yeah, that was the first thing I watched. I should have prefaced that. That was the first thing I watched of yours.
Okay, gotcha.
But I wasn't like
everyone always says that. Everyone's like, been here since Candy Bar. And I'm like, all right, do you mean like you were there when it came out? Because I sincerely doubt that. At this point, I've gotten more comments of been here since Candy Bar than the amount of people that were subscribed to me and watching Candy Bar when it actually came out. Like, so, I guess they just mean that's the first video of mine that they happen to have seen. And they've just been around for a while.
People say shit like I've been here since 50 subs, and you've definitely gotten more than 50 comments.
I've gotten 200 comments of different people saying
those dares. Oh
my god.
The part that I remember is I remember vividly seeing the how to make an ammo box video in my subscriptions. Like I remember being subscribed during that, and I remember being subscribed during your Stampede review, which like look. Look, I'll be real. I do still have some Nerf gun nostalgia because,
bro, we're the real fans right here.
The Stampede is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, I still have nostalgia for it. I still have a bunch of my Nerf guns. I don't think I've sold all of them.
They literally make Nerf guns to where like
they're
dangerous, man.
Well, yeah, and they're Fortnite guns now.
I've been shot by a Nerf gun that came out like this year or like 2020. Like one of my girlfriend's little brother got like a couple of Nerf guns from them, and I was like, dude, fucking shoot me with it. And then he shot me with it, and I'm like, never again will you shoot me with that gun. That shit hurts.
Ironically, in the PC culture age, they've taken away some of the safety features of Nerf guns and made them more extreme.
And then when after that, he was like, it doesn't hurt. And I was like, bet. Took the gun from him, I shot him with it, and he started crying.
Jesus.
And I was like,
they buffed those Nerf guns? Damn, now I kind of want to play with them again.
So it's interesting that y'all remember sort of how we met because I don't remember at all. All I remember is for the longest time, I thought you two already knew each other because I feel like every time I hung out with either of you, the other one was there. And so I just always attributed you two as friends.
The same day that I met Spencer was the same day that I met you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Also shortly after we had met, like I think like 3 to 4 months, I got hacked. My entire account got cleared. I had no idea of how to contact you guys because we didn't have Skype, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have anything. We didn't have any other connection. I only had my friends list, which all got cleared.
Wow.
So I only had some sort of, I don't even remember how we got back into contact, Spencer, but we did. And I'm only here because of you. If it wasn't for that, dude.
I'll be honest, I think the reason why why I got you back on my friends list, and I think it's coming back to me now. I want to say it was, who's the guy who played Mike in Spartan Super Soldier? What was that guy's name?
Thunder 543.
That was his gamer tag. Yeah.
543.
He would do this thing where, like every couple of nights, like every weekend or something, he would send a message to all of his friends saying, "Hey, we're doing this thing called co-op night. And we're gonna have everyone play and get it." And so I really liked that idea, so I decided to make it into a clan where if you're in the clan, you get to go to those co-op nights.
That's how the co-op clan started?
And that's how it started, was because of him. And because of that idea. Now I completely and utterly ripped it off. But I mean, look, I made something out of it. Like, I made something out of it, and I remember when I was thinking of the co-op clan, I knew I wanted you in it, Robby, because we would hang out all the time. But then when I noticed you weren't on my friends list, I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. I guess something happened. So I sent you another one. I guess that's what happened. Had I not have thought of the co-op clan, like I probably wouldn't have sought you out in the first place.
Dude, that's wild.
It's wild how the tiniest little things end up changing. It's butterfly effect.
Well, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been in Deep Sheep at all. I wouldn't have been in Hunger Games. I wouldn't have been in season 1.
But
the Wii cult wouldn't exist.
It just goes to show you, like, it just goes to show you though, like when you're 11 years old and don't have fucking anything to do, it's like you really hold on to the things that are like really cool. So like in co-op nights were probably just as fun as like anytime we get on and play Jackbox or some shit. It was probably just like another thing to do. But then like once you're like, you get a group going, and especially because custom games in Halo Reach, like I don't know how you slice it. If you get a big lobby on custom games Halo Reach, like you are going to have a fun time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No
when you're 11,
drive or die, fucking
bumper cars, Splatter Monkey.
Oh yeah,
fucking love Splatter.
And what was it? We played Teacher and Cops and Robbers.
Yep. Ossifer, yeah. It's because when you're 11, your world is so much smaller that you end up like the few things that you interact with become your world. Like I just remember every day when I would come home from school, I'm automatically hopping on Xbox Live and I'm seeing who's online and I'm checking everything out and I'm playing my game and I'm in the world, you know? Like nowadays, none of us really play games anymore. It's like we'll hop on just because. Well, first of all, to even get online to hang out with each other now, it's always, hey, is anyone available tomorrow to hang out? And then it's like, I might be available. And then it's like, okay, yes, I will be available at this time. And then it's like, okay. And then it's like this whole.
Not even that for me. I'm like, hey man, I just got my work week schedule. I'll be free on like Tuesday and maybe Friday if I get off early.
It was like the norm back in the day to just be on Xbox. Like,
oh yeah.
And I also think about it, like there was just so much like content in Halo Reach that we just always kept coming back to it.
Yeah.
Like that game came out around the time, right, that I met you, Chris. It was set. So it came out in September of 2010, and I think so January. So yeah, it was like right after Christmas. People were getting the game.
That was right when I got my first Xbox.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I got my first Xbox 360 in Christmas of 2010.
This is also back in the day when video games didn't immediately become ancient after 6 months. The game was still big and popular, and people talked about it, and it was the thing.
And so going back to what I was saying about like how gaming has changed and like we haven't played games in a while, I think I can partially attribute that to like a loss of interest, but honestly, more so, I kind of feel that just the gaming industry as a whole is very different from what it was in 2010 and 2011 when, like, I mean, there were, like, 2010 alone had Super Meat Boy, Red Dead Redemption, Halo Reach, like, so many games that even today I think still stand the test of time, but a game like, you look at, like, Star Wars Battlefront or For Honor, where it's like it just kind of goes extinct after. It's like the life expectancy is only supposed to be a year, and everyone involved in it knows that.
I really thought you meant the Battlefront that came out when we were kids, and I was dog, that stuck around for a while. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. But what I'm saying is like the life expectancy of a game nowadays, at least just from how I see it as somebody, and I'm not somebody who plays games religiously nowadays. But I've kind of seen it more as the life expectancy is much shorter, and everyone involved knows that.
Yeah.
But,
well,
I mean,
because nowadays everything's
when you say you're not a gamer, because now I got a good old gaming PC right here, boy.
All right, you're on the PC gang now, Roberto.
I played one game of Siege, man, and I suck so bad.
Dude, I mean, look, I went through that phase too. Remember 2013 where I just played nothing but fucking PC?
That was sad because to me, that was like, I've lost you. Like, I don't have a PC. I'm not going to get one. All my life is Xbox Live, you know? Like, when that one friend suddenly is like, yo, I switched to PS4, it's like, or PS3, then it's like, oh, bye.
Yeah.
Never see you again.
I mean, well, I guess at that point it wasn't as bad, though, because at that point we were doing videos like Hunger Games that existed, so it wasn't like that was it. I still played Xbox all the time. So,
yeah, with video games, it was actually a thing that I looked back the other day. So, like how, you know, just nowadays, like you can only really name like maybe 2 or 3 big games that come out a year that are like, oh, that game matters. And I looked back. This is how games were different. 2007, in my opinion, is the most lit fucking year for video game releases, especially for original series and sequels. All right, here are the games that came out in 2007: BioShock, Mass Effect, Uncharted, Portal, Crysis, Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, Rock Band, Super Mario Galaxy. All of those big series. Now for the big sequels: Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, Team Fortress 2, God of War 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 2. All of those games came out in the same year. And I think every single one, other than maybe Rock Band and Crysis, is relevant today in some way.
Right, and like
Rock Band's kind of relevant.
Rock Band is not maybe relevant in the sense of it's constantly being played, but everyone knows it, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everyone has played it.
It's like, I'm wondering, you know, say 10 years from now, and we'll look back on 2019. Like, what games are really going to stick out that people are like, oh my God, that's a classic now?
Well, you know, I can't say like 2019 specifically, but like, I mean, I do think people will look back on shit like Fortnite and be like, wow, that was, I think of the 2010s, we can all agree, and I guess this is technically closer to the end of the 2000s. Minecraft, I think, is timeless.
Yeah.
I really do think Minecraft will be timeless forever.
Dude, I've literally been waiting for that motherfucker to die. I've been waiting on that clout for the longest time, dude. As soon as that thing is dead and gone, my God. I've been around since before the original release, man.
Yeah.
The reason that game will never die is because it is a sandbox where you can do anything.
So simple.
Like, sure, they keep releasing new stuff and adding more stuff to the game because you kind of have to. But in general, like, when you boil down the gameplay, it's endless. You can literally do anything. That's the problem with big games like Fortnite, where eventually it really is just battle royale, run around and shoot. Like,
I think another thing that helps it is you have games like, I mean, even though I fucking love Red Dead 1, when that came out in 2010, I remember vividly being in front of the TV thinking, the graphics are not going to get better than this.
Yeah, I remember that too.
This is
pinnacle
of gaming graphics. They are not getting better than this. We've seen the peak of it. But now you look at it and it looks a little bit dated. And it still looks beautiful, but it looks a bit dated. Minecraft has a very timeless look to it. It looks as if it was something made, years and years and years ago. But I think it's because of that, it's going to just stand the test of time forever.
And if it wasn't for Minecraft, I don't think any of us would still be talking to each other. Because I feel like Halo Reach did a lot. Left 4 Dead 2 did quite a bit too. But Minecraft and especially Deep Sheep, that's what united us. So tied us to the hip essentially.
The sheep in Deep Sheep is literally about a brown sheep from Minecraft.
Mm-hmm. Why is it like? What is our fascination with the brown sheep? I never.
So I remember. Well, all right. So the way we came up with the name, it was me.
I was there.
Were you there for it?
I was there, but I was zoned the fuck out, dude. I didn't help at all. I did not help out
sure it was
at
me,
all.
You, Daniel, and Nathan. I feel like Nathan was there, but it was mainly me and Daniel that came up with the name because I just remembered the name Rooster Teeth was a really funny name to me because it takes a phrase cock block or cockmouth. That's what it was. I think it was cockmouth.
I thought it was cockbite.
Cockbite. That's it. Cockbite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cockbite, Rooster Teeth, and I was like, I want to do something like that. And originally we had Dumb Donkey was gonna be it for dumbass. But then it was like, that's not really good. And then it was a mixture of me and Daniel. We came up with Deep Sheep because for deep shit, like you're in some deep shit. And I thought that also worked because I was obsessed with brown sheeps in Minecraft, and brown sheeps were really rare. And so that was just like a thing. And then I was like, oh, that could be like the mascot. And then also the idea of like, well, Deep Sheep is just really silly sounding, but it's supposed to mean like, oh, this is some deep sheep. Like, this is some deep shit. We're actually, and, granted, we are known for being just ridiculous bros and immature and all that shit. But every now and then we get a little deep and there's a little bit of like, we tell stories and stuff like that. So it's like Deep Sheep. It works. And it rhymes too. So it's like.
And around the same time that Deep Sheep also kind of launched, we also got into like a microcosm of pop culture and became big fans of a show called Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I still have Peter Baelish and Stannis Baratheon. And that's all because of you, motherfucker.
I bought them. Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have, I don't know where it is, but I'm pretty sure somewhere in my life I have my Daenerys and my Drogon and my fucking Jaime Lannister.
Yo, you got Drogon?
I did. I got Drogon.
Not this guy Drogon?
Not the big
one
that they sell.
Oh.
One, because isn't there a version of it where
there's a big version.
Yeah, there's a huge one, and I was like, you bought this guy Drogon, and I got Littlefinger and fucking Stannis.
No, I went for equality on that one. Basically, for the audience, back when Game of Thrones was really our shit, and pop Funko figures were new, at least for Game of Thrones. I wanted to buy them for me, but also for members in Deep Sheep, because I just wanted all of us to have our own figures. And so I just asked you every year, all right, what's the one character that you love that they've made a pop figure of that you want? So, I just did that. I think I did it for 2 years, maybe 3. I forget if I did it for 3 years.
I did it for 3. At least I
probably 3, because I only have 2, and I came to the game late.
And I'm pretty fucking sure I got Jaime Lannister too. I'm pretty.
Oh yeah, because Jaime Lannister had one for season 1. Because I remember the first year I got myself Robb Stark and I got Camden Jon Snow. For some reason, also in my head, I wanted everyone to be different. I don't know why, but I was just like, hey, let's all pick a different
way. Though it is cool that it's cooler that way.
Yeah,
I have the weirdest too. I think.
Yeah, you were always safe. I was like, all right, Robbie, what do you want? You're not gonna ask for Tyrion or Jon Snow. You're gonna ask for a different character. You're like, I think first year Peter Baelish. I was like, fuck yeah, got it. And then you were like, if they ever make a Stannis figure, I want Stannis the Manus. I was like, all right, they haven't made a Stannis one yet. And then they made one for him for season 5, and it was like, all right, got you.
So I'm gonna try and condense this down to a minute, but this is why this man is fucking amazing, okay? And this is why he got the ass end of the stick when he was on the show, okay? Stannis Baratheon is such a legend. He held down the stronghold for the Baratheon family. Storm's End. He held down Storm's End for the Baratheon family, for the name of his family, for eons, essentially. Meanwhile, his little brother Robert was like, I'm just going to go over here and try and take over the world. Take it over from this mad king. right?
That's
How
his
is he gonna get
older
all
brother.
these older brother? I thought
That's the big deal of why it sucks that Stannis is the middle child, because the older brother gets all the glory and gets
That's
to
right.
be king, and
That's
the
right.
younger brother suddenly decides he wants to be king. It's like, it's me. I've earned
Yeah.
this.
But he held off on Storm's End for so fucking long for his brother to go out and go on this expedition to have the rebellion and try and take over from the Mad King. And he did his job through and through, even through starvation.
Mhm.
Those conditions were horrible. What did he get out of it? Just keep Storm's End. Just keep it. Just keep it for us. Keep
the fucked up
rolling it.
castle you spent a year in that you probably hate and have terrible memories of, now it's yours.
Yeah. So I don't blame Stannis. Stannis should have been the protagonist this entire time.
I don't know why, but for
Would have
some
been a horrible show. Would have been a horrible show.
for some reason, spoiler alert for what was season 5? Was that the okay? The one thing I remember at the time being like really weirdly like confused about was the way they shot his death scene where Brienne slices him. For some fucking reason, I was like, no, guys, he's not dead.
A lot of people were, yep.
Yeah,
Same
and I'm just like, and like looking back on it, I think it is just kind of the way they shot it that where it tripped me up. But I remember holding on to that, being like, guys, he's not dead.
Yeah,
Like,
you're the main reasons why people thought that. Number one, apparently it's supposed to be from his POV, but it totally doesn't look like it, so it's weird. Number two, the music. The music has this sudden feel like it's gonna be something else. This sudden, because it's like deep and like oh shit, what are his last words? Go on, do your duty. It's like oh shit, okay, and then it goes and then cuts to something else, and it cuts to Ramsay stabbing a guy, so it gives off the effect of a sword, But it's like, imagine if the music instead of going was instead like boom, 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 go to the next scene. You would have a different feeling of like finality. It's over.
Yeah.
So that was always weird. But either way, his end to me is one of the coolest parts about his character, because I remember because I never really loved his character. People either love that character or don't really pay attention to him. But he was always a character that like I didn't really was like, all right, I'm just neutral about you. And then season 5, he suddenly is like the man who can take down the big bad guys, the Boltons. And it's like, oh shit. I'm all right, ruthless or not ruthless Stannis, let's do this. Take him down. And so then I'm rooting for him the whole time, and slowly it's this slow bleed of just like, dude, you're not doing too hot, man. And then by you reach the last episode, it's like, dude, you fucking sacrificed your daughter. You did all this fucked up shit. Like, I don't even know if I like you anymore. I just want you to kill the people I hate more. And he just doesn't do it. He just loses.
That's the thing that definitely.
When you analyze his position, though, you gotta understand why he did it.
I mean, that's the one thing that I always respect about his character is he always just did what he knew had to be the thing to be done. He never let his own ego get in the way ever. It was always, the rule is I am king now, so I am king. That's it.
Part of me wishes that we got to see the fight that happened.
Yeah,
sure, yeah.
I would
Another
have to seen that.
thing.
But the part that I like about that moment is, dude, that fucking like wail that he gives out when he realizes he's failed, like that. It's so like there's something about that that's so like fucking real.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know like how to describe it, but I remember watching it and just being like, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry."
All right, let's pull it off of Stannis. Let's get him back.
Hang on, I just want to give one last detail that I love about Stannis. So, like, obviously, he was a character who just was like very kind of emotionless, didn't really, he just went forward and that was it. It was like he's a very matter of fact man. You're like, okay, like in a way, he sort of has charisma, but not. And what I love is part of the reason why he's like that is because the actor who played him admitted he kind of had no clue what was going on in the show the whole time. The whole time he's like, I don't know, there's like magic and shit, I don't really fucking care.
Dude, that's hilarious.
There was a clip, I think,
cool.
There was an interview with John David Washington for Tenet where he was like he was like trying to figure out like He's like, am I doing it right? Or he said something in reference to being like, I don't really know where I am in this movie, but like, let's just do the job. Like,
I mean, hey, if you were tasked with that, I'm pretty sure all of us would do the same thing.
dude, I'm dead serious. Making that movie must have been a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I'm seriously like, I'm from the north.
You are technically.
I'm from the north. I look like Jon Snow. My name is Rob. Bro, I'm a Stark.
Roberto y Robby.
Roberto Robby Stark.
Bringing it back down to more important topics, us. God, I like after season 1 happened, going into like pre-season 2 sort of, thinking about like the three of us, we were more united then than probably ever. Because that was before Connor, and when Connor came in, you guys just became the conglomerate, and that was the first time that I was outside of it, and I was like, huh, that's weird.
Well, so because it was also Camden was a little late to the game getting on Xbox Live, and I've of course have known him pretty much my whole life. But what was interesting was at that time I hadn't really been hanging out with him too much. The only reason we hung out all the time is because my grandma babysat us before school, and that was from I was in 3rd grade all the way to sometime in middle school or something like that. But he got on Xbox Live a little bit later, and there was a time where like he didn't even really get online at all. So for a while it was us three, and Daniel was a little bit later. It was a little sporadic, but then eventually Daniel really became a part of it. And then and Camden finally is getting online. Alex was also kind of around, but not as online as the rest of us. But for a bit there, it was us three.
Yeah.
Around that time, we had like a bunch of new ideas that we were running with for videos. I remember Minecraft Shorts. You ran with that idea, Spencer, and then fucking Chris just blew us out of the water with episode 2.
Yeah. I just had that idea for Minecraft Shorts because like that clip of Camden arguing with himself in Mutation Mondays was just so funny to me, and I was just like, this needs to be done in some visual format.
Doug, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's been like almost 7-8 years. I still haven't watched every Mutation Monday.
Look, man, I don't blame you.
Episode 5 is really funny. I remember episode 5 being the really fun. It's No Mercy. When you record people on No Mercy, it's gonna be good. That's just a fact.
I think
is that the one I was in?
One of the best levels in video games.
I don't know if you were in that one. I know it was me, Spencer, Daniel. It was either you or Nathan.
It was Robby. I think the only episode you were in was Hunting Party, which is the 3rd episode.
That was also a good episode.
Yeah, that had a really. I remember the ending of that shit, dude. Chris, you casted the vote to switch to expert, and it's so funny because you were like, "Do it, press yes," and literally like we were all like against it, but we all still voted yes because we knew it was gonna cause shit. So we did it, and I fucking screamed so loud. I was like, ah! Shooting you guys, and somehow Rochelle revived you, even though I fucking like anally fucked you. You still got picked up by Rochelle, and I hit my desk so hard. I was like so pissed. Best fucking ending ever, honestly.
Bro, I completely forgot. We didn't even mention this. The fucking Castle Crashers series.
Oh right,
that was before Mutation Monday.
That was before. That was so fun.
So I have
that was so much fun.
So I have a confession to make. Honestly, from like the year 2012 to honestly, like more than halfway through 2013, every content on my channel was fake commentary because I didn't know how to record my voice. So if you rewatch all the Castle Crashers series, it's like, Spencer, why the fuck are you so quiet? Like, it's really, really funny. And
you were doing the react things.
At a point, it just became me being the fucking cameraman. Like,
wait, did you do that for Mutation Mondays?
No, I didn't do that for Mutation.
Okay.
No, there's no way I could fake that.
Wow.
I think the first video I was able to like record my audio live commentary was like I want to say it was the first Deep Sheet plays we did.
Us a Halo Reach multi-team. Okay.
I feel fucking cheated. I remember going back to those Cast Crashes videos so much, and I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. This is really good.
Okay, your
Spencer
audio
did
is
a good
fine,
job.
but really think about it. I do not talk much in that series. Like, if you really, really break it down, I mean, the series is kind of dog shit anyway. But there's certain parts of it that are really funny, but I'm not a part of any of them. You know?
Bro, how have we not done that again? Like Castle Crashers. Because it's the easiest video. It's like the easiest game to do videos in. We're all on screen once.
We did a Deep Sheep Plays.
I know we did a Deep Sheep Plays, but I'm saying, like, why didn't we do like the whole story again? That'd be a lot of fun.
I guess just because we did it, you know? It's like, once you do one thing, then you kind of move on to the next thing. You don't think
I don't remember. I don't know about y'all, but I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Oh, I don't remember, God. I remember volleyball. I remember us playing volleyball and it being a struggle. That's all I remember. Of the entire and also something to do with the competitions to get the princess. Those are always the most exciting parts of the whole. Every time we did that, it was like, oh shit, it's lit now. We're gonna fight.
I remember I got into a huge argument with Camden one time because the corn boss was always the most annoying part of the game, and I argued, and I honestly, like, looking back on it, I actually probably agree with Camden more on this.
Oh my God.
Looking back on it, his argument was we should do the corn boss anyway, because even though we all have the horn, and that's in the corn boss, you had to beat him in order to get the horn. His argument was it's still part of the game, and if you want to do a playthrough of the game, you might as well do it, even if we already have it. Mm-hmm. But my dumbass was like, look, man, that boss is a bitch to do. Mm-hmm. It is by far the most annoying part of this game, and we all have the horn. So is there really any point in wasting our time? And like, honestly, I don't even really fucking know what I would do now. I'd probably still play it just to showcase that part of the game.
Dude, how do you remember that?
Spencer has an incredible memory.
I do. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older, unfortunately. But stuff like pre-high school stuff, I remember pretty well. It was when I got to high school.
Just me, Chris? I'm gonna talk one-on-one with you quick. Is it just me, or does Spencer do that like rich person blink like Elon Musk does when he's talking in interviews?
What do you? What?
No, okay.
What? So it's not. I don't think it's just you. And I'm not making a commentary about I'm not making like some sort of social commentary about like your position in wealth. Anyways, you do this thing, right? So you're talking, and then like you close both eyes and you're like, what's going on with my eyes? And then you open back up and you're back.
No, I actually see what Robby's saying. Elon Musk does do that sometimes. He does do that sometimes, but I've also noticed what he'll do is he'll be speaking. He'll like have a conversation with you like this, and then he'll stop for like 4 seconds and then continue. He'll be like, so Robby, I was just kind of working at the grocery store today, and like
he's got to reload.
Yeah, it's like he's like thinking like, wait,
you
shit.
do that sometimes too.
It's like he has to think, okay, if I say the wrong thing, I could be messing up the whole world. Like I could mess up the whole space-time continuum. So he like thinks for a sec. Fuck, is that the right? Yeah, okay. Like
What blink are you talking about?
I'm sure. Just we'll keep talking the podcast normal. Just keep your eye on Spencer.
When you edit this,
keep your eye on Spencer.
Or when we're watching it, you'll see.
All right. The only blink I can think of is just like I gotta I'm talking and now I gotta think of the next thing I'm talking. Okay, and now I'm back. That's the only blink I can think of.
The only blink I can think of is 182, but I mean,
I hate you. I hate.
That question, what? Because we were talking about Spencer's memory, and then you're like, Chris, I'm gonna ask you one-on-one. I'm like, yeah, I know Spencer has a great memory. And then you're like, you never noticed that rich blink guy thing that he does?
Well, because he does it. He's done it like, I guarantee you, like at least 4 times today.
At least 182 times.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely. I think that my memory, though, for real, it's gotten a little bit worse over the years.
That happens.
I used to be just on my shit. And I think the reason why was because, ADHD is, it's kind of shitty at times, but the one thing that does come in handy with it is you go to the moon and back every day in your head. So you've relived every thought you've had. You think of, like, if you see one thing that's like, oh, that reminds me of this memory or something like that. Like, you see one thing that distracts you and puts you back into your head, and like you relive a memory or you relive a certain thought. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why shit stays in my head, is because of that. And I don't, so it has its perks for sure.
That's interesting. Have you ever actually like said it in a video that you have ADHD?
I thought people could tell. No,
I mean, there are certain physical tells, like you can when somebody does have ADHD, like one of my favorite.
The rich guy blink you were saying? I figured that's what it was.
Oh, like a tick or like a sort of.
Well, it's really just, your brain is firing off on all cylinders, so it's just got to keep up.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like that.
I'm sorry if I called that out in a real asshole way then.
No, like
PC culture, don't come after me.
No, don't.
You ever notice Roberto and Robby's fucking hair? It's long, dude. Come on, Spencer.
Well, so I noticed one of my favorite Big Brother players that I've seen, Ian. He has ADHD, and a lot of the time he was just on this past season, and you can tell now. Like I couldn't really tell before because I wasn't watching live for his season, but when he came back for this one, like he does like lean back and forth quite a bit in the middle of conversations, looks off around while he's still holding a conversation. Like there's some tells.
Yeah.
Sort of interesting. I feel like a lot of people assume someone with ADHD, they're sort of like cursed with it. Like no matter what they do, it's going to be this thing that controls them. But it's like,
it's way more normal than you'd think.
And it's really just like everyone lives life in a different way. And it just so happens that the way that person has to live their life has a name to it.
I think one of the things that it does for me is that like I tend to watch the same thing over and over and over because I either tune out when I watch it on the first time, or if like, if I want to go really in depth. So like, and I don't know, I think, but even people that don't have it, I feel like will do that. Like, I feel like, Chris, I think it's pretty interesting. Like, you've watched Game of Thrones how many times? Like the whole series?
I mean, other than season 8, I've watched the entire, at least seasons like 1 through 6, the entirety like 6 times, and that doesn't include the scenes that I've rewatched. I feel like I have watched Tyrion's speech 50 times, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna do a public admission here. I've admitted this to a couple of close friends, and now and again, very, very, very close to home thing.
What?
I've never actually seen season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Interesting.
There's
worse things that you could be missing out on, right? But like,
yeah.
Here's the thing, all right?
I've seen analysts, I've seen all the reviews, I've seen all the numbers on it. I don't want to put myself through that, man.
Season 8, honestly, if I could name like the biggest disappointments in my life, season 8 of Game of Thrones is up there. Because
honestly, Chris, like, and I'm just being completely real with you. What was almost worse than season 8, and I'm just being completely real with you, dude, was your reaction to season 8 that broke my heart more. Because out of everyone I talked about this show with, you were by far the biggest fan of it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Without a fucking doubt, we're the biggest fan of this. And I was disappointed, don't get me wrong. But like seeing it on somebody who was so passionate about, like, seeing it, their reaction, and it wasn't even like, this is so bad and here I am going to go on this like crazy rant about it. It was like hollow. Like, I don't even want to acknowledge that this ever happened. Like that. And that's what fucked me up more than the ending, honestly. Like,
my thing with it is that I know how many people have hated it and will never watch it ever again.
I've only seen it once. I've never watched it again.
I'm very much so part of the completionist mindset, to where, like, speaking of a trilogy, if I watch a trilogy, I have to watch the first, the second, then the middle, or then the last.
Mhm.
I cannot watch. That's the only reason why I've only seen Lord of the Rings all the way through once, because I'm not gonna go back and watch Return of the King by itself. No, I gotta go on that fucking journey.
It's completely true about pretty much most like actual movie series. Like Harry Potter, I cannot just watch a single Harry Potter movie. If someone says you want to watch Harry Potter, I'm like, all right, so like the next several days, right? It's gonna be Harry Potter. All right, it's been 2 years. Fine, I'll do it.
I take that same approach for Game of Thrones. Like, I've only seen the entire series once. One rewatch with a couple of scenes here and there. Once.
I think
so Game of Thrones, because like it fucked me up. Season 8 fucked me up really bad. Like my Chris Ranks channel. The whole reason I started that channel is because number one, I was like, oh, I already do this. I rank everything. I'm obsessed with it. I can share with other people. The people who I've shared it with, my whole color ranking system, people get attached to that. It's cool. It's different. It's new. And I'm like, okay, cool. I want to like share that. And so immediately my thought was Game of Thrones. Season 8 is coming out soon. I'm going to start rewatching it now. So I'm going to rank it. So I made these fucking videos.
I remember too that was like one of the last shows that you colored. And I knew that. And it wasn't even a matter of this was one of the last shows that you discovered because you've been watching it since season 3 or some shit.
Yep.
It was more of like this was so sacred to you that like you had to be ready for that. You had to be ready to sit down and color it. And I want to say you and I did it together because when
we were living together, so
we rewatched the whole series in preparation. That's also what fucked me up about it too was seeing us go through all of that shit and then season 8, like, fuck.
Yeah. Season 8, because for me, Game of Thrones was my favorite thing of all time. And I shared it with a lot of people. Like, I was the first one in Deep Sheep to watch it. And I told all of you guys, you got to watch Game of Thrones. You got to watch it. I showed it Camden personally because his parents wouldn't let him watch it. So we had to secretly watch it. I had to bring him over to my house in order for us to watch it. And then I showed Keaton Game of Thrones. Like I showed everyone close to me this show, and it was my favorite thing of all time. And it was one of those few shows that somehow kept like a quality, even though like a lot of people had problems with season 5. I still loved season 5, and season 6 I loved. And so it was just like, holy shit, they just keep doing it, and it keeps getting bigger. And as I watched it blow the fuck up. Like I wasn't even there for the real beginning. Like I can't imagine watching it season 1. Like not many people had heard of it then. I was there when the first burst of fame happened with the Red Wedding. I heard about the Red Wedding, so I was like, I'm gonna watch the show. But for me, the show taught me so much about storytelling and just it was so well done and able to interweave so many things in such a great and complex way. And like the characters and the stories, like I cared so immensely about it. And there were so many things about it that are like, holy shit, this is like this whole planned thing. Like R plus L equals J, this whole fucking thing. This is going to be so crazy. And the show had plenty of moments like that blew my fucking mind, that affected me personally. Like the Red Wedding, Oberyn versus the Mountain, just moments like that like my heart palpitated more than anything in the world. Like if I could imagine if a bear is staring at me or the first time I watched Oberyn get his head smashed, equal. My heart was fucking
for real. I mean, like I know so some of the people who are watching this who may not like be into Game of Thrones or may be just like us where they're really disappointed. I mean, they all remember like when Oberyn Martell, like when that shit happened, man, like there's few pieces of media in this world, dude, that got to me like that did. Like there are few pieces of media that really, really just took my heart and threw it in the fucking dumpster and blew it up and lit it on fire.
Yeah, I was in the room with my girlfriend when she had because she's going through the series now for the first time. I was in the room with her when she'd gotten through the Mountain and the Viper. Oh man. Setting her up and then seeing it happen. Ooh.
I showed that scene to somebody who had never seen the show before.
Why?
Or they said that they didn't want to watch it. Like they were like it's just too long. Just tell me like how it's like because they knew that the ending was like kind of like eh. So they're like, all right, just like show me cool clips from the show because I'm never gonna watch the whole thing. And I showed them the thing that fucked me. I said, this is the thing that fucked me up most in this show. personally. And I'm not saying this is the most fucked up moment of the show, but this is the thing that fucked me up the most.
Yeah.
So I showed him the Oberyn Martell moment, and even he was like, dude, I literally keep thinking about that. I've thought about that all day long. Like, and he had never seen, like, he had no attachment to this character.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show you they had this way of taking what you liked and just finding the worst possible way to destroy it. Like, whatever they could do to just get under your skin, they somehow managed to find the worst case scenario.
They took the concept
with the show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they took the concept of good guys versus bad guys and they blended it together, but then in the end, the characters that you love and really are rooting for, like, the odds are always stacked against them and they can truly lose. And that is why Game of Thrones is so special to me, because consequences matter. Most forms of media that I enjoy don't really have real consequences. No matter what, every story has to have a status quo. You always have to have these sets of rules, and very rarely does the status quo get shifted. Game of Thrones was a show that almost every season had to shift the status quo. Season 1 compared to season 2 is insanely different because Ned Stark isn't around in season 2. The whole show completely changes as soon as Ned Stark is dead. All right, so then you got season 2 and 3, which are kind of the same thing. Then the Red Wedding happens. Now it's a completely different show again. You're like, the Starks were the good guys. They're gone now. Who else is left? I don't even know what to do. Season 4 then changes everything. And by the end of season 4, you're like, holy fucking shit. Like, everything constantly was changing. The status quo was never sacred. So when I watch the show again, it's so amazing because it's like, I'm just counting down the days till Ned dies. And I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy these little moments I get with Ned Stark because I know they are not long for this world. And that is like, no other show really gives me that feeling. You know, every show has to give you the idea that things are about to change drastically and something's about to go wrong, but most of the time they don't. Game of Thrones, they usually.
The closest thing I can think of is Ozymandias from Breaking Bad, but that's just like that.
Well, okay, so all right, so that's interesting because yes, that is the best episode of Breaking Bad, and technically, in my opinion, the first time the status quo changes in Breaking Bad is the end of season 2, because that's when. Spoilers for Breaking Bad season 2. Skyler kind of finds out what Walt is doing because the whole show is built on Walt keeping this secret from his wife. He's cooking meth. He has to keep it a secret. So the status quo officially changes once Skyler realizes you are doing something wrong and I'm leaving you. Then the very first episode of season 3, he tells her. He says, I cook meth. Boom. The whole show is now different. The status quo doesn't change again till the end of season 4. Because the whole show from season 3 onward was Walt is feeling powerless and he's losing control and he has terrible drug cartel people taking over and Gus is his main villain. And in season 4, all gone. Now he's the kingpin. So the show did do that. Game of Thrones did that constantly. And that's what was so exciting about it. But season 8 took every single build-up, every single character arc, and decided to end it in a way that didn't make sense and was immensely dissatisfying. And not only that, but they took characters that were beloved and just like gave them either nothing to do or turned them evil for no reason or turned them fucking stupid.
Like the thing and like this is probably the only time we're really going to talk about it because it's really a shitty situation and it's just like stuff that we try and move on from. But Chris, I do remember very vividly. We were at Keaton's place on the night of the season finale, and like I don't know if it was like we were just quietly watching the whole thing, and like I don't remember us being like super disappointed like vocally, but I do remember like sitting on the couch and then you were like, John's at the wall and now Bran's on the Iron Throne. Like this doesn't feel right. This does not feel right. And I remember on the drive back home, you were like, I vow to never write a bad ending after that. Like, I vow to never, ever write an ending that I think is lousy or rushed or I don't care about what I'm doing anymore and I just need to end it and find a way to end it. Because it was just sickening to watch. Like,
because the main reason Game of Thrones season 8 really fucked me up, not only because it was my favorite thing of all time and ended terribly, not only because the whole world was watching and the whole world now remembers Game of Thrones for its bad ending, which goes back to my mantra I've had for a long time, which is the ending is the most important part of the story, and it all depends on that ending, and you need to nail it. But for me, Game of Thrones was like an entire new way of looking at storytelling. It taught me so much about it. And for it, to me, it felt like a teacher of mine suddenly went against everything that they taught me and destroyed everything that they had built up. And it was also that season, the show had already been slowly getting like criticism and people were saying it wasn't as good of a show. There had been hints of that. And then season 7 was the big one that was like, people were saying, oh, that season sucked. I'm like, no, it didn't suck. It wasn't the best season. There were problems.
There were still good moments. There were still fantastic.
But I have faith that the show will end well because everything that I have watched makes me, shows me that they know what they're doing. I have to believe that. And I was one of the few people who really believed that. And to slowly realize I was wrong, but not only was I wrong, I was very wrong. I never could have imagined season 8 would end that badly.
And the thing is that like the thing that I've realized over time is I feel like I used to kind of be like the internet, all right, like you guys just overreact and shit.
Yeah.
But there are just some instances where I feel like I'm the naive one, where I'm too stupid to realize that like they're seeing something I'm not seeing. And I think in the instance of Game of Thrones, when we got to episode 4, The Last of the Starks, and I remember watching it and thinking, okay, that wasn't like that bad. And then looking at IMDb and seeing the ratings and how low they were. And then hearing people explain, okay, so this happened. Okay, well, also this doesn't make sense. I'm like thinking, fuck, this is like a mess. Like, how the fuck are they gonna wrap this up now? Like, and seeing that happen is just so hard. And I remember vividly as well. I'm saying that a lot, but I remember when we watched. What was the third episode called? The Long Night.
The Long Night.
I remember we watched that episode. And right after you said, he's not dead. Like
the Night King, the White Walkers. That is not how it ends.
Easy. That's too easy. There was something up with this and I was like, yeah, Chris, you're right. You're totally right. Like there's no way that's it. But then I can't remember. There were a couple of people in our circle of friends that were like, I don't know. I mean, like. I as much as I want to believe that, like, there's still some stuff they got to wrap up. And yeah, dude, it was just reliving that, man. It's just so hard. Like, to think Arya could just do it and like.
Yeah. Well, because, like, big storytellers, it's just people that you're a fan of, that you follow, you want them to succeed. And us as artists, we are always trying to create something really good that we're really proud of. We don't want to disappoint people. We want people to watch what we make and be like, oh my God, I love it. That was awesome. And then when you're reaching the finale of something that you've created, that's the biggest thing where you're like, I can't fuck this up. This is the final one. People are going to have really high expectations for it. And so for me, it was like, I was such a big fan of D&D, and a lot of people hated them and said that they don't know what they're doing. I'm like, no, I trust them. And I was wrong, and they fucked up worse than I could have ever imagined. And so that to me was like, no one is safe, And
then they lost their Star Wars movie.
He has yet to make a bad movie, but who knows? Maybe the next movie he makes will suddenly be his season 8,
Who?
Nothing is sacred. Anything can fail. That's what I got out of season 8.
What director were you talking about?
Christopher Nolan.
Oh, yeah.
I personally, so I watched Following recently. Even though that's his first film, I personally don't care for it. But I mean, he hasn't made anything on the level of season 8, and I think few people really. I think Game of Thrones really does take the title of most disappointing thing ever. That ending, I really do think it's so unfortunate to say, but like when you just think about the years of theorizing, the years of of like all these crazy things. And that's why when people say like, oh, are you hyped for the Game of Thrones spinoffs? And like, truth be told, I'm not. It's like,
yeah, I'm not.
They couldn't get the main series right. And, you know, maybe like something will come of it. Maybe George R. R. Martin will finish the books, and who knows, maybe I'll actually pick up the book series and read the whole thing. And maybe that will be the satisfying ending that I wanted. But it doesn't change the fact that so many people were so passionate about this. And the worst part too is that like the actors, the set dressers, the production designers, everyone did like fantastic job in season 8. Everyone was giving it their all. And like I would say the strongest aspect of season 8 was the production value. I mean, they really fucking went
the filmmaking was always top notch.
Yeah,
suddenly the writing that just
never once failed with that. And you know, I'll tell you, there were some moments in season 8 that I thought were pretty satisfying. Brienne getting knighted. The Hound versus Mountain. Okay, that's actually still epic. I will admit.
The second episode, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, that to me is the last true good Game of Thrones episode. Yeah. Because that episode just solid all around. There's nothing wrong with it. Has a bunch of wonderful character moments. Robbie, if you're gonna watch if you want to give something, watch the second episode of season 8. You'll be like, oh.
But even then,
it's starting to turn in my head like, yeah, maybe actually, you know, I'll rewatch the whole series again because, like, I do fondly remember coming back onto Skype after a new episode and just psychoanalyzing the shit out of it and just really taking every
Jon Snow died, all of us were talking about how he has to come back.
Oh my god.
That was that year-long wait. I remembered every now and then I would just like look in the mirror and be like, I live in a world right now where Jon Snow's dead, and I believe this is a limited time.
That's fucking funny.
So to wrap it up and bring it on.
Yeah, we gotta wrap up Game of Thrones. This is 10 years of friendship. Let's talk about half the stuff.
Well, let's bring it back and end it on a good one. I think the only way to really end it is to like go super deep, like do a deep dive in on the week that we had back in 2016.
Yes.
So that was an amazing trip. That was the first time multiple Deep Sheep members hung out together. I guess technically me, Camden, and Daniel hung out in 2015. So that was sort of the first time, but that was only for half of a day. Was Daniel still a member then?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, he was, yeah. But us three hung out for a week in summer of 2016. And I remember that trip so fondly.
One of the most fun weeks ever, dude. Like, so many great moments. That was actually like just between what we watched Prisoner of Azkaban.
We watched I'm pretty sure we watched the first 3 Harry Potters, I think. Because I remember
I'd never seen it.
I remember Robbie's reactions. The first one, he went, I liked it. That was really good. Second one, you're like, I like that even better. And then we watched Prisoner of Azkaban, you're like, guys, that was amazing. And I was like, yes, it was.
Scissors.
Dude, this summer's going to be 5 years. 5 years since that happened.
5 years. That's the halfway point of our friendship.
Wait, okay. The soundtrack of that summer, the soundtrack of, honestly, the rest of that year, because of Green Day Rock Band.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Chris, that was what started the Documents. That's literally, when we were on that trip, I remember when we were playing Warning on Rock Band, you said, that's a blue now. And I was like, I need to make one of these.
I don't think the blues were there yet. That was a cyan.
No. Cyan was the last one added.
Cyan wasn't there.
Yeah, cyan was the last one added. The original colors were red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then cyan was added later. I added it personally because I was like, I feel like I can't, I need to have more because blue to me is so higher. Like, I need another ranking. I need something that I can say, hey, that thing that I listened to, I actually really liked that. It wasn't just, I liked it. It was like, no, I actually really like that, but I don't love it yet. And then I invented cyan.
I mean, you invented the color. I
invented all of them.
It did really help with when I made those spreadsheets, because if it was one color less, my God, all of the analytics would have been so off. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that trip. It really kind of reinvigorated my love for the band because, like,
That's when I heard Warning for the first time.
well, Green Day Rock Band and honestly just any of the rock bands are really fun. But Green Day Rock Band was so fun just because you can tell, like, you know, for a lot of people that might just be like another cash grab video game, but for us it was like that game helped us get into Green Day on a level that we weren't like I hadn't listened to the full album of Dookie at that point, but now I got to play it. Now I got to play the album with friends. I got to strum it on guitar while my friend was singing. I got to play it on bass, play it on drums. I got to see the fucking venues that they would play in. I got to see Billy with his stupid shirt and his blue hair. So you got a sense of like more of this backstory. And actually, if you go pretty deep into like the achievements, they're actually pretty creative too. Like,
there's a lot of detail in that game.
They made that game for the fans, for Green Day fans, and so, like, you know, people can call it like a cash grab, they can call it whatever they want, but like, I mean, god damn it if they didn't give it their all for what it's trying to be, you know?
Yeah. What I loved about that trip as a whole is I just remember, Robby, you were on fucking point with making content. You were so fueled to just make shit. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know? Because that's how I've always lived my life. I've always been in that zone. I've always been that guy that's like, guys, let's film this, you know? And it was like so refreshing to be on that trip and have someone there who's just like on the same level, even more. Like, you were just so excited. You were like, let's film a mini play Saw series. And I remember the first episode was late at night, and I was like, this is kind of a dumb idea. I know this game is gonna suck. I'm gonna be bored. And then I just remember then in the morning I was like, yo, let's do another one. I kind of want to record another one. And then we did episode 2, and I was like, that was fucking fun. I love this. I want to do them all.
Bro, I'm not even kidding you. The amount of times since you uploaded that mini play Saw best moments or whatever, funniest moments, since that video till now, I've just been like, you know what? If I go to a GameStop and I just fucking buy Saw 2 Flesh and Blood and just drive down to California, dude, that would be the fucking best.
I've always been like iffy about that one just because they changed the combat system in that game. So it's like based on quick time events, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, would be worse because in the first game they were so janky, but they was still like live. So that's what led to the funniest moments, in my opinion, where it's just like it's just struggling to fight, but still doing the puzzles and shit, and also just the fact that like we're older and funnier now. So it would be a good series.
Something that I can think of with Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. I remember a couple of years ago, Robby, I asked you what the worst game that you ever played was, and then you said Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. And I think Chris.
I was lying to your face, and I've never played it.
Okay, well, maybe it wasn't you then. I think it was Chris then.
I never played that one either.
Somebody said it was really bad. It was one of you two that.
I know it's horrible.
Yeah, we both know that it's horrible.
Okay, but and I'm gonna bring up a YouTuber here because I was watching a video from I remember being 12, and I saw a video from PewDiePie. It was like a Q&A of like just random questions. And somebody asked, what's the worst game you've ever played? And he's like, 1 second. And he grabs it and he goes, this piece of shit right here. And it was Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. So I was like, oh my God, like this is a universally known thing.
Oh, really?
Just sucks. Like, and I find that hilarious I
think we got to do it now. I think that's
I mean, like,
oh yeah.
I always thought, Chris, and I don't know if it's too late to do this, I would be elated to do like some sort of Saw series, like kind of what you and Robby did in Walking Dead Survival.
Do it!
Because that game can suck a fucking ass.
That game is so shitty, but for the love of God, it's sort of fun.
Well, it's honestly, like, it's fun in the sense of like once you get the crossbow, it's like, okay, this is a little bit more tolerable.
Headshotting zombies and picking up that arrow is satisfying.
But oh my God, what abomination of a game.
Lazy. You think Green Day Rock Band is a cash grab game, and then you play it, and you're like, fuck no. You play Walking Dead Survival Instinct. That is the definition of a cash grab game.
That's the thing about Green Day Rock Band is like the graphics and stuff aren't great, and the gameplay maybe isn't great, but it also didn't have to be. You know, it's a rhythm game. Like
they didn't fuck up the rhythm part.
Survival Instinct is trying to be a horror game. It's trying to be like an adventure, something that you're supposed to put time and effort into.
Yep.
And you know, what's crazy too is actually that game did have some interesting ideas. Like, remember that whole thing about like the fuel reserve and then like the
fuel reserve having to take care of your survivors?
Yeah, like cool ideas, right? But the execution was so stupid.
So fucking lazy. And what's funny is I remember they tried to rush that game out because Walking Dead was huge. It was like, we got to get this game out quick. Ironically, if they had waited a year, given it more time, more resources, and made an actual good game, and also when they released that, I'm pretty sure maybe season 3 had come out. Walking Dead didn't hit its peak in popularity until season 5. And even then, season 6 was still really popular and got a shitload of viewership. The game would have actually gone down as maybe like a fantastic game.
Now, granted, there is the whole point of, and I'm not sure, like, you know, I'm not really a big follower of The Walking Dead, but like, there was also the hype train of Daryl or Riot. Like, if Daryl dies, we riot. That hype train was kind of going on, and that is about him. But like, yeah, I mean, either way, the game sucks. So it's like,
sucks. That'd be a fun series, though. Honestly, I love the Saw mini play series so much. And even though it's not a mini play series, I kind of consider it to be the Halo 3 series, where you just literally sat next to me for the whole fucking time. Yeah. I love that series, too. Just compiling funniest moments of series that I feel like are underappreciated just is so satisfying. Because mini play Saw didn't get many views, but I thought it was a really good series. Like, definitely underrated.
Honest to God,
moments.
My only thing is, if we do Saw 2 Flesh and Blood, please, by the love of God, for both of us, for the viewers, for everybody in attendance, please edit all of them. All of them. Just do it. Just all you. All you.
Chris, I actually
all the episodes I edited, I'd never watch them. I skip over them.
Part 7's not bad. Because here's the other thing. Because I remember when we were making them, I was like, all right, I'll do the even numbered ones. And like, yeah, I have more experience with editing, so I knew like, all right, in general, I'm pretty sure mine are going to be better. But I just remembered when I was editing the ones that I had, I was like, shit, I actually have really great moments in these. And then I remembered filming the ones that you were going to edit, and I was like, I feel like not many cool things happened in those. Part 7, though, had a lot of really funny moments. The entire sequence of us running away from Pighead, fucking fantastic. I love that. You don't even need to like edit it. It's just fucking funny. It was and then the fact that we were low on like one more hit and we were dead, and we shot the fuck out of him thinking this is it. Shoot the fuck out of him. This is the best gun in the game. And he still came at us. We're like, we have nothing. Fists. Fuck it! And we just punched him and somehow killed him. So many moments like that. We're like, oh my god, the video game gods smiled upon us and gave us a great moment captured on camera.
Chris,
I think though,
just real quick, that Halo 3 funniest moments video on your channel, no joke, one of the funniest videos I've ever been a part of. Like that, all of those moments were so fucking hilariously edited. My favorite part of that entire montage is the one that's like, send me out with a bang. So Robby, basically, there's a character in Halo 3 that in the cutscene he says send me out, and he's like, I guess he's like trying to like gasp for air or something.
Yeah.
Like, he's like send me out with a bang, but the way they animated it, it kind of looked like he did some weird like twitch thingy with his
like he said another word.
Yeah, it was like send me out with a bang.
Yeah.
So fucking weird. And like the way edited is hilarious.
Well, I plan on streaming through the most of that franchise, so that'll be fun. Playing through all those Halo games finally.
Playing Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach in a row is just such a wonderful experience.
I think the only way that we could really kind of end it is either talking about fucking the short films that we made or just being boozled.
Well, here, let's talk about those. So, all right, we started with rock, paper, scissors, I think.
And then
Rock, paper, scissors,
we
shoot.
did Lake Avenue, the
Creature on Lake Avenue as well. Yeah, those
Dude,
two were funny.
Okay,
So.
real quick, Creature on Lake Avenue. That one was so much fun and
Yeah.
so easy. Literally, I don't know if you know, viewers might notice it, but I don't know if they have. On the way that we shot that, I think it was on your iPhone, Spencer.
Yeah.
With that app, the throwback app. Yeah. There was no way for us to alter the time in the bottom left-hand corner, so you can tell all of the beginning shots are pretty much just all the way through the same time. It takes until that last shot. I don't even remember the time, but it's at least 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Because that last shot of Spencer being dragged away, man, that was the hardest thing to get.
I've always wanted to do a bloopers video for that, or what I'm thinking is taking just bloopers from a bunch of our old shorts that never had their own bloopers video, and then compiling it as just a bloopers video in general, because rock, paper, scissors never did that. But Creature on Lake Avenue, like, there's not much footage. We kind of just did, like, I think 2 takes, and one was basically it. And then the whole Dragon Spencer shot, which we knew we could film separately because it was like this whole, like, oh, the camera gets fucked up for a second. That shot took us, like, 15 tries. And I just remember by the end, you had really bad rug burn on your like arms and knees because I just dragged you on the hardwood floor over and over and over again.
But I mean, dude, the fucking short was awesome. I loved I love how the part where Robby, you look at the camera and you go, this is worth millions now.
Yeah.
Dude.
Is worth millions. It's so.
I can remember like trying to hold in my laughter. Me turning around.
Yeah,
that's because I'm laughing my ass off.
You looked away from the camera and smiled, and you can slightly see it as you turn back.
Because what was so cool about that short is like it was completely different style. It was basically, all right, we kind of need to film this in one take. Like this, maybe we can cut around it, but in general, this is it. So it's like. And we didn't have a fucking script at all. So it was like,
all of that.
You guys are filming a Mysteries Uncovered, Ghostbusters, whatever type show. And that's it.
I love the way you edited it too with the
Oh yeah, with the silly music. I just remember also like, because it's so funny, like I'm like the scary monster and I'm just like this skinny little curly headed fuck. And like I'm like, why is there a cookie missing? And for some reason, like just a little bit, it's like when I suddenly snap and I knock the thing and the music happens, somehow the way Spencer you filmed it, it gets lit. It's like, oh shit, he's gonna kill me.
Yeah, because I jolted the camera a bit when you swatted.
Why did you climb over the couch? Oh my god, I still remember that. I sprinted around it and went out the door like I was actually being chased. You took the most convoluted route I could possibly imagine, man.
He turns the camera around at one point, and I had to climb underneath a wire. So, like, when he suddenly turns around, I'm right behind him, and I'm like, like I am bolting. I'm gonna get him.
Get the rock band mic, and you were holding it in your hand, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of my way, bitch!" And like. Yeah. That's so funny. I completely forgot about that.
That was a funny one. Rock, paper, scissors was funny. That was classic.
Although that was my first time doing your fake blood. Man, that sucked.
Robby, look, for good reason, but you bitched a lot about it.
Oh yeah,
you did.
I was not happy about it.
Yeah,
I know for sure if I was on set for like a horror movie, like if I was in like Spiral or like a new Saw movie and I had to get covered in blood, I'd be like, oh, I want to get another job.
Robby, I was in a short film during college early on where they had a spray gun and they coated it with fake blood and they sprayed me. No joke. Literally every single molecule of my body was coated in fake blood. And I remember they just stuck me in the shower and they were like, all right, just shower it off. And so I showered off, and I remember I had blood seeking through to my underwear. It was on my glasses, and I cleaned my glasses as best I could. Luckily, this isn't the pair that I was wearing, but my old pair, I remember to this day, there is still fake blood residue on the frame that never went away.
Wow.
I remember it was in my hair. The big thing was the hair because I could not get it out of my hair. Like I remember it was stuck on my neck. So for a
Dude,
while,
Imagine.
my hair was fucking long back then too. So
My
it got everywhere.
God.
Like I every time I watch a movie scene where someone gets coated in fake blood, I just remember that because it was fucking hell.
Bro, the ending of Ready or Not. Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I was not coated in blood, but I had to get bloodied up recently for Keaton's, right?
Did.
Yeah, that was a fun little thing. That was a fun little.
I remember you did that, and I got to be a werewolf, and I remember I had because the way that the werewolf makeup worked is they literally just the lady just took little hair and just stuck it on me. So I had hair. And I had like sticky residue and stuff. I had sticky residue stuck in this area for like a week. It would not go away. I would be scrubbing and scrubbing and it wouldn't go away. Makeup and shit is so like I can't imagine being someone like Jim Carrey. It's like famous that like his experience filming How the Grinch Stole Christmas and how getting in a costume every day took so long and like he almost quit because of it, and also the contacts that he had to wear. Like I do not envy actors who have to deal with that. I can't imagine the amount of like fortitude.
I'm pretty sure the guy who plays Drax in in Guardians of the Galaxy,
Dave Bautista.
I'm pretty sure didn't he say that it took
Former WWE World Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion. Never, ever, ever got a great storyline. I really wish that he would have. Anyways, what were you saying?
Was it 3 hours of preparation to get makeup on him? Or
I think it was longer.
It might have been like 6 hours.
I'm pretty sure it was like 6.
But imagine that shit every day, bro. Imagine.
Mm-mm.
See, what I would want to do is like just fucking drug me, knock me out. I'll just lay down on this like flat blank surface and just have your fun, you know? Just make me into Drax the Destroyer. And then when I wake up in a couple of hours, you know, either you're almost done or you just finished up and then we can go shoot. You know? Everything can be better if you just knock me out.
To be fair though, like what say they have to do something to your hand. Well, you need to hold your hand up, right?
Yeah.
How are you gonna do that for your sleep, Robby? Roberto, how are you gonna do that?
Tape that shit to a plank. Put it up.
What about the makeup? They gotta get everywhere. You're gonna tape the makeup, and the makeup's off. Turn around. Now you're gonna tape the part that has makeup on it.
You don't have to
Roberto
tape it
Robby?
at that point, just put it against the plank.
See, at that point, what I would do
Or
is
even that, if I'm just laying, like if I'm like fucking laying down on a table, knocked the fuck out, okay? If you really need my hand to be like this the whole fucking time, you really don't. Just put my hand down this way, and then we need to turn it around that way. Do that side of my arm. That's it. That's all.
I don't know, Roberto y Robby. If that was the solution, I feel like they'd be doing it by now.
See, like I feel like
I just don't think there's anybody in the film industry as smart as I am. So
I feel like at that point, like honestly, if it, I'd like to be just like completely passed out, like a sack of like potatoes just on the ground.
Imagine
and like,
beefy as fuck Dave
give 6
Bautista
hours
just knocked
on
out.
this man.
Well, the problem is if they have to do the makeup on Roberto y Robby, like what do they do when they gotta wake you up?
Oh, true.
Just
Because we
let
have
me
to
wake
slap you in the fucking face and drag you places to wake you up.
Imagine if it was like they hit you with a pillow and you don't wake up and then it smears all the makeup up. It's like, oh, sorry, 2 more hours.
So by the time this one's out, the vlog where me and Connor are trying to wake you up will have been out. So now we have 2 videos on camera of us trying to wake you up. Roberto y Robby, I just want you to talk about.
My biggest worry in life is moving out, you know, moving into my own apartment, moving into my own house, and needing to wake up on time. Because I've had this in my mind, very prominent in my mind for years. Mm-hmm. Probably since that first video went up. I don't sleep a lot. And it's a problem that I have a lot. In fact, before we did this, I slept for 15 hours straight. And I was supposed to be up for something. Not that big a deal. I was supposed to be up for something at like noon. And I woke up at 5:40. And I was like, well, sucks.
Why?
Well, I mean, I was up for like 2.5 days straight with a couple of power naps.
How are you such a hard sleeper that smacking you in the face with a pillow or literally dragging you off the bed, at one point your arm just hits yourself in the fucking face? How does that not wake you up? Because I always was wondering if it's just that you're kind of awake, like you're aware of what's going on, but you're so fucking tired you just don't care. You're like, I know you're hitting me with a pillow. I don't care. I'm too tired. But like, are you actually legitimately asleep?
I don't remember any of that. So I think so. But I don't know. It could just be like my brain could be in a dormant state to the point to where like it just fucking maybe slightly alive inside of itself. Because the thing that I really embody with my body is that there are 3 stages of life. There isn't life and death. There's life, dormant, and death. I embody the dormant state. You see, when everybody goes to bed, they go to bed. Like, my girlfriend's mom is the lightest sleeper in the goddamn world. To the point where I take off my shoes and I leave them in my girlfriend's rooms. That way, if I have to go outside, I can throw on my shoes and I can walk through the back door and go around the house. I don't have to pass by her room to get to the front door. Because, good God, if I have to do that, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to wake her up. I don't want to put her in pain. I don't want to, like, because she can't go back to bed. Whenever she wakes up, she's up for the day. That's it.
Yeah.
And that just sucks. I could not imagine that. Because, oh, man. But when I'm asleep, okay, when I am asleep, I am just, I have to have a certain amount of hours. And if my brain hasn't calculated that amount of hours, then it's not going to be alive again. No, it's going to stay in the dormant state. It's not going to, no, that's just not going to happen. And whenever I'm forced to be awake, when I haven't gotten my hours, I'm a pain in the ass, and I know it. Oh, my Lord.
As evident by the Robby as a sleeping problem video.
Yeah. What are some of the craziest things people have had to do to wake you up?
I mean, my cousin took a cricket bat to my face.
What? Wait, what? And you're like alive?
Yeah.
That didn't cause one of the concussions?
No.
Okay,
hang on. Was it like a or was it like a, oh my god, so much dust just flew off. Or was it like a
I don't know, I wasn't awake.
You didn't wake up from
you up.
No.
That didn't wake. What the?
So when you woke up, did you not?
Bro, I was in this bedroom. I was in this bedroom. My desk was over against that window. We had the fuck is it called?
Cricket bat.
The bed right here, climb up a ladder, the bed up here. Bunk bed. We had a bunk bed right here. I was on the top, and I was like rolled over to the point where like half of my body was hanging over, and I almost fell off, and I still wasn't awake. He didn't want to like roll me off and like have me land down and possibly break something, or even worse, die. So he rolled me back over, and he was like, I don't know what to do. So he left.
My favorite thing ever still to this day, and I know I'm jumping way back to the trip, but we didn't mention it. Robby, probably the hardest I've ever laughed over anything you've ever done or said was when we were playing when we were trying to get the Mile High Club achievement in COD 4. There's a moment that I think has since been deleted.
Yeah, I think that stuff got deleted.
But there was a moment where something bad happened to you and you looked at me and I kid you not, audience, this is exactly what it looked like. He had his controller and he was going, what? And that fucking broke us. That literally,
Dude.
because you like looked at me, looked back, you're like, you see what? Like it was so fucking hilarious. And then there was also that other part where you were like, you're clicking in the thumbstick 3 times to knife, and it took him 3 knives to kill him. And instead of saying like, wow, that took 3 knives to kill him or something, you go, 3 knives it took. It took 3 fucking knives! It like so fucking loud and like
I just remember you would get so loud that when you finished shouting, your like head had to like adjust to get back because it's like reacting to how loud. Like you blow yourself back. It took 3 fucking knives. You like vibrate.
Just gotta come back down from it, yeah.
But that was definitely because at one point you said we're gonna get a noise complaint, and I'm pretty sure Chris said the loudest scream I've heard today has been from Robby, and I think that's what he was talking about. Was the 3 fucking knives, because you screamed that pretty fucking loud.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even I enter. Okay, so the thing is, when we do long recording sessions like that achievement
That's
marathon, I think it was
the
called.
recording I've ever done. That was
That was
5 hours?
That was ridiculous.
I think so. I just can't.
That was insane.
I don't remember a goddamn thing about it. Like those long days, I just enter a different like. I don't know if it's like an adrenaline rush or I become another person. Like when I tore that thing to bits, when I tore that disc into shards, like I don't remember doing that. I don't remember doing any of it. And I'm sure people, huh?
I hardly do either. It was all red mist in my head after.
I remember it. I remember all of it. I just remember like
Dude, I was so
thinking like I need to make this a good video. Something has to happen. And then just this slow bleeding of like, man, this is like a waste of our day.
But
And I just felt bad also because I was like, I know you two knew that it was going to be difficult, but neither of you thought it would be that difficult. And I was like,
I legit thought it was going to be done in like 50 minutes
Well,
to an hour.
I think you
If that.
overestimated. I think you overestimated our ability because the whole thing was, I know that you had a difficult time with the achievement, but
it took me 40 minutes. First time I did it.
Still got it. Like you were like, okay, I still got it. And I remember at one point you actually did beat it again, and like you were about to win, and then you were like, I'm not gonna beat this for you guys. Like I'm not getting you guys this achievement. So you backed out of it, but you were able to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's what's fucked up about it is, for the life of me, I still have no idea how you do that achievement. Like it was just fucked up. How
I could never do it again. I broke my disc.
Yeah, it's really just the timing of like certain bits. So the flashbangs are key. You need the flashbangs. You need to use them in the correct spots. And then it's just no matter what, you gotta have a little bit of luck. Sometimes the enemies don't die. Sometimes they're in a slightly different area or whatever. So you just need that. But if you really know what you're doing, maximum half hour to beat it.
And you want to know the worst part of it all was that, and I don't think you guys remember this, but we had to play through the entire game that day to get that level.
I forgot about that.
Don't you remember?
Here's the thing. Okay. Wait, Chris, what you just said? I don't think I back in 2016 calculated the fact that you start with flashbangs. I don't remember throwing a single flashbang that entire time.
See, I was doing the right strategy. I just couldn't get it. Like I remember because I was told how to do it at one point, but I didn't remember exactly like the method.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was, when you go into the first room, you throw a flashbang instantly, it stuns everyone, you shoot them all, and then you keep going. It was something like that.
The whole thing is just throw flashbang, go up, runs the next area, flashbang, flash. That's really all you do.
That fucking achievement, though.
I think that's why I had such trouble with it. I just ran in there shooting people.
You just didn't even know.
The funniest part of that video though was that, and this is a reference that nobody will ever get, is that when the bathroom, there was immediately when you start the mission, somebody walks out the bathroom, and we called him Camden. No one will ever get that reference, but we the
whole thing Camden did on one time that had to do with the bathroom, and we knew that. So whenever a character,
why does it matter anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, it's his. Let him do the duty if he ever decides to.
The Call of Duty.
Yeah, but man, dude,
that was fun times. It was a fun trip. Great trip.
I would love, because we're all already on the West Coast. It's a little problematic if we get everybody there because COVID, you know.
Right.
But I don't know, man. If things lighten up by the summer, at least the three of us should do something.
Dude, I'm down. I mean, I already live by Chris, so.
Yeah, I'd love to do some live in-person Deep Sheet plays.
I could literally just drive down there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sunday, so maybe not, but you know, one of these weekends could do a 3-day weekend. I can take off a day.
That'd be really fun. I'd be down.
I got leave hours to use, so yeah, why not?
I just want to point out right now, the Skype call has been going on for the same length of Whiplash.
And on that note, thank you for watching.
So you guys just finished the drum solo.
Wow. Wait, Spencer, you're Fletcher. I'm Miles Teller.
There we go.
No, if you haven't seen Whiplash, you don't know what the fuck that is. But thank you for watching this Late Night with Deep Sheep. It's been fun reminiscing 10 years of friendship.
10 years, man.
10 fucking years. Wow.
First of all, if you haven't watched Whiplash, what are you doing on this channel?
If you watch this channel, you need to watch Game of Thrones, listen to Green Day, and see Whiplash.
Yeah, but
and play Halo Reach.
No, but for real, none of those are required except for Whiplash. What actually what are you doing?
I think the most required one is subscribing and liking this video,
and
commenting what you would like.
Bell.
Comment what you would like to see. So yeah.
Thank you for listening to this late night or watching it, and look forward to another one next Wednesday.
All right, so yeah,
Later.
our late night.
Bye bye.
Bye.